Sometimes I feel I'm gonna break down and cry. Nowhere to go, nothing to do with my time. I get lonely, so lonely.
Put these on. We need to talk.
Hermes Trismegistos is said to be the Greek name of the Egyptian god Thoth. In Egyptian mythology, Thoth is the god of the moon and the god of learning, and he is credited with the writing of the Emerald Tablet that contains occultic knowledge. Hermes Trismegistus is also associated with the Olympus god Hermes, who was the son of Zeus, and was known as the messenger of the gods, since he was able to cross quickly between the worlds of the divine and the mortal. Hermes is also referred to as the god of travelers, commerce, sleep, and a bunch of other titles. Both Hermes Trismegistus and the Greek god Hermes are theorized to be the inspiration behind the Roman god Mercury, even though I believe these two figures don't share any resemblance aside from their name. Mercury is said to be the son of Jupiter, who is an adoption of Zeus, father of the Olympian gods. The supposed Roman version of Hermes wears a Petasos, which is a hat with wings that was used for traveling in the past. Either that, or he was embarrassed that his barber fucked up his haircut. Mercury also carries a sword surrounded by two snakes, which is what we were told is the symbol of medicine. Olympian Hermes and Mercury are mostly the same, but unlike Hermes, Mercury is associated more with the underworld than the divine world. So why do I talk about Roman mythology all of a sudden? Some time ago I visited a city in my area, taking advantage of the fact that it's still legal to walk around the street without a COVID passport. That's when I noticed a statue of the Roman figure for the first time. I was wondering why there's a statue of a Roman god in such a central location of the city. In a way, it bothered me, but I was mature about it and moved on with my life. After a while, I saw this very entity being immortalized in the same way in a different city. That's when I decided to do some research. Did you know that statues of Mercury are spread all over the world? So many cities and always in a central location for all to see. But why? One possible explanation could be that the Vatican sits at the top of the world's hierarchy and they show off by idolizing Roman gods in the most important places. But if that was the case, wouldn't it make more sense to have a statue of Jupiter or Neptune? Whether Mercury is based on Hermes, Thoth, or anyone else, I don't know any character with that many statues in so many places. Why does it look like this entity is being praised everywhere? When I continued my research, I saw that Bible scholars claim that the worship of Mercury was one of the most common practices among pagan traditions in the area of Israel and Babylon. It is speculated that Prophet Amos referred to Mercury when he spoke against worshipping false idols. If that's the case, this means the worship of Mercury predates the foundation of the Roman Empire, and Mercury does not originate in Rome. An article from 2014 tells the story of the statue that is located in Rochester, a city in the state of New York. It is mentioned that a sculptor created the statue to decorate a tobacco factory in 1881. In an old photo of its supposed construction, the statue appears to be complete. According to a theory that gains popularity in conspiracy groups, every gigantic statue in the world that displays an impressive level of craft was built using advanced technology. In order to explain the existence of these statues, governments around the world staged photos of their construction and gave a fake story that explains how they got there. This case is one more example that supports this thesis. Another claim I've encountered connects the worship of Mercury with dolmens. A dolmen is a structure of huge stones that are stacked on top of each other. These structures are also said to be burial sites for giants, so there are still a lot of question marks surrounding them. Next, I want to look at some pop culture references. Most famous of all has to be Freddie Mercury, lead singer of Queen. The singer was born as Farouk Bulsara. He changed his name when his band rose to fame. Was that part of his initiation? The mythical figure also gets impressive representation in the comics genre. Jay Garrick,
What the hell do you want?
one of the versions of DC's superheroes Flash, who is known for his speed, likes to wear the infamous Petasos. I somehow doubt he is just hiding his haircut. Besides Flash, DC has another speedster called Max Mercury. His origin story tells of a messenger from the 19th century who had the task of running as fast as possible to deliver a warning of an attack to members of an Indian tribe. A third DC Comics superhero that contains a direct reference to Mercury is one called Shazam.
Shazam?
Yes! Carry my name, and with it you carry all my powers. The wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury.
The name Shazam is said to be the acronym of 6 people: Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury. First one is a biblical figure, then 4 Greek mythology figures, and lastly, the 6th figure comes from Roman mythology. Quite an odd combination, especially considering the argument that Mercury is based on an Olympian god from Greek myth. Why using his Roman name then? Given the amount of statues and pop culture references of Mercury, I would argue that this entity is still being worshipped, and that the official narrative of a Roman version of an Olympian god is completely fabricated. This is what I found so far. I don't know if I'm the first guy to make this connection, but I would like to know if there are others who researched it. Overall, there are a lot of question marks around this character, and it appears to be intentional from my perspective. I think it's a pretty interesting subject, and there's a lot more to uncover. From the looks of it, this figure is more significant than we realize.